What's up, guys? We are going to Holy Beast of Yevon Reborn for, kind of wanted to do an intrinsic showcase with Skye, since this is an Aquan Reaper and she has a lot of innate Reaper killer. I like Skye, don't get to use her enough. Unfortunately, her jump is wind blocked, and this thing's only weak to water by 50%. Everything else it's resisting by 120%. So we'll see if we can make it work with her. Yeah, and this does require an EX3 Elena and EX3 Yoshi. This is far from being an optimized clear, just because our main DPS is locked to an off element that it's resistant to. And there are just better DPS out there. We're not getting killers. But yeah, we'll see if we can make it work. So anyway, I'll go through the gearing, but, well, here in a sec, just to go over the boss's actions. So the mission is no items, clear within 2 turns, and party of 4 or less. So we only have to worry about the turn 1 attacks. It doesn't have any preemptives. All it does is single target petrify, and single target physical. So we are going to provoke that with Yoshi. So in the base form, he has Auto Mirage gear on. It's just a 1-hit single target physical attack, so you just need 1 stack of Mirage. I don't know if it has accuracy, so this is honestly the safer method. Not going, versus evasion. So starting in the base with Auto Mirage gear on, shift form, just built for high spirit against Aquan and Reaper, and full provoke with his intrinsic, so he's not even really, no chain cap up, pretty low Aquan killer, low Reaper killer, so he's more or less just a chain bot, but he is giving us water imbue, water amplify, and big stat buff to Skye with his intrinsic, and some LB fill from Frozen LCD to help top off Wakka. So there's that. His own vision card. Starlight Elena, her own vision card. Kind of a true double hand build. She's at 300 true double hand attack, 150 magic, 50 Aquan, and 225 Reaper. So you could obviously build her better if you have better gear, but she's got her own intrinsic. And yeah, there's that. Still a pretty decently strong chainer, despite all the, deficiencies in gearing here. And then just naked in the shift. She's just staying in the base form. Wakka, here's a breaker and just chain bot, more or less. And he's free. So we've got his upgraded STMR. That'll take advantage of Yoshi's throwing weapon in peril. He does need at least 10 preemptive LB fill, assuming you have his LB gauge maxed out. He needs 40. He doesn't get Warring Spirit until EX2. If you've been running the event, you should be able to have an EX1 by now, but yeah, here's his gearing and just a generic attack card. What else? Yeah, that's pretty much it. All element in peril and 87% defense and spirit break is what he's bringing, and he's, budget. Skye, we're doing her jump in the base form. So she's got a lot of Dragoon gear. She's a little wailed out, but she's got the event sword, Titus's STMR. Yeah, just kind of as a budget double hand sword, just to take advantage of Elena's sword in peril. So here's her gearing. She's got her own intrinsic, and she's got Ricard's card, Ricard's helm, and Kane's STMR. So she's at 275 Aquan, 300 Reaper, 700 Jump. And you want to make sure she has her TMR or STMR equipped in the base form. We're starting her in the shift form with Tempest Draw just for a little bit of a wind damp. But her base form TMR passive gives her a one-turn attack, one-turn Reaper Killer buff by 150. So I think, pretty sure if we start her in the shift, go to the base form, and then jump her, she'll have that attack buff on turn 2, because it's only one turn. So we'll go ahead and give this a go. See if off element Skye can cap this thing. It's got 4 billion HP. Alright, so Skye going to the base form, and she's just going to normal attack to jump after we do everyone else. Elena is just going to do all of her cooldowns for bigger water imperil, sword imperil, and then whatever. Yoshi's going to shift. He is going to BA start over to Skye, Frozen LCB for the bigger water amp and LB fill, and then water scroll for the imbue. And then Wakka is going to LB. And we will jump Skye. Alright, so now we're just going to chain Gemini Blade twice and then Star Supernova. Yoshi is going to Ninjutsu whatever, and Wakka is going to triple cast Drain Tackle. Then we'll cap this with Skye. Wait for the chain to build. So yeah, I mean, that looked like a decent chunk of overcap. 25% overcap, about. So who did what here? So, okay. Elena still did a decent chunk of damage, not even maxed out on True Double Hand for either stat, and not full killers. So, there's that. So, yeah. I'll probably throw together a, more reasonable team and see if we can get an all mission clear. But anyway, I'll be back in a minute. Alright, we are going into back into Holy Beast of Yevon Reborn for an all mission clear with a more typical team. We're staying mostly on element. At least on element with our main DPS. So here is the party. Yeah, we'll just go through the gearing. Reberta is here for some damage and Aquan Killer. If your Reberta is only EX0 or EX1 and she doesn't have Warring Spirit, this should work. You would just need to sub in Call of the Wild and Dragon's Brush to get enough LB fill for to cast her Aquan Killer on turn 1. So here's her gear in the base form. She has 275 Aquan, 300 Reaper. And shift form, she just has a little bit of Esper fill. Yeah, and again, if you don't have an EX, well, yeah, if you only have EX0, you could put that Esper fill on Jecht. But yeah, but she's starting in the shift form just to get that little bit of Esper fill. Let's see, Faris has Obsidian Bracer. She's here for Water Imperil and the water amp field from Leviathan. She's equipped to Leviathan, so a little bit of Esperfill. Jecht, he's got lightning fast legend. You could also equip him with, what is it called? Eye of the Dragon. I know those are limited time pieces of gear, unfortunately. I tried giving him the EN frames from Esther, but we really need to cast her Greatsword in Peril, her Killer, and her Defense Break. The 80% break just wasn't enough. So, unfortunately, you need, one of those pieces of gear. Now, I know we're going off element with Lightning Fast Legend, but his damage is, he's splitting his damage between lightning and water, so he's hitting for below max resist anyway. But aside from that, he's full provoke with status immunity. Petrify, specifically. So there's that. Oh, and Reberta just has her own card. And Esther, she's got the free card we got recently. So, I'm sure you have better attack cards. I would say put those on her. That might make up for your Esther not being EX3 and or 130. Other than that, it's mostly free or old or cheap gear. I know Photon Core gives a little TDH and some Reaper Killer. I think you'd be able to hopefully make that up somewhere. But yeah, so full Reaper, full Aquan, and full LB damage. And Kingly Raiment is Neovision Noctis's STMR. But yeah, you could mix and match gearing, but she's here for Reaper Killer and just damage. So if you have the gear, I would say go true double hand with the Greatsword on Reberta. We don't have time to work in her Spear in Peril. So yeah. I guess depending on variants, Esther should be able to cap this on her own. But again, if your Esther's not as well geared or not as high a level, Reberta's doing about 800 to 900 million damage. Boss has 4 billion. So anyway, we'll get into it. So turn 1, Reberta's going to go to the base form. She will give us Aquan Killer, Mega Breath to unlock her Quadcast and for a mod boost, and then support from the skies for a stat buff and Mirage. Jecht is going to Jecht Shot for a water imbue on everyone and a small amp, and then Jecht Flood a couple times. Esther is going to Energizing Bunny for Reaper Killer and stat buff. And then Calm Before the Storm and Bolting Slice. Then Faris is going to just Water Cannon for the 130 in Peril. Then we'll chain Esther and Jecht together for some chip damage. Alright, so this turn we are going to Lightning Bolt Barrage with Jecht, LB with Esther, Quad Mystic Breath with Reberta, and then Leviathan Field with Faris first. Alright, so we're going to send Reberta, wait for her chain to start, and then send the back row. So 4.5 billion, so about 12.5% overkill. So it's not a massive slam dunk, but again, I mean, if you can gear better, put better attack cards on Esther, go true double hand on Reberta, I mean, you should be fine. So yeah, we did about 900 billion with Reberta, the little, pretty low variance roll on Esther that time. I mean, average that I saw was about 4.3, 4.4. So on my previous attempts at this, or my practice runs. But anyway, there's another, more, I guess, vanilla clear that you typically see. But hopefully between these two videos, you can work something out. But anyway, thanks for watching. Catch you guys later.